ladies and gentlemen, the Orlando Magic have something special, and I implore you to buy stock now. I specifically remember saying this, I believe it was last season, that the Magic had to take the mantra that was given lyrically by Eric B. and Rakim. Keep them eager to listen. And you know what? The league is finally now listening. Don't believe me? Here's the NBA on TNT speaking on the young guns in Orlando.
My question to the panel was this, though, Ernie.
Yes.
Would you say that the Orlando Magic are what OKC was in the East 2 years ago?
I think the Orlando Magic, when they're healthy,
They're the new OKC.
they're the new OKC.
Okay.
And to me, in my opinion, I still believe in the Knicks. And the Cavs are playing great. But the team, if they could ever get healthy, they would be scary to play, because what's going to happen, they got a bad break with Wagner going out. Because now, when you watched them play in the playoffs last year, they just gave everything to Paolo and let him. Then he was making some mental mistakes down the stretch. Those other guys are gaining confidence now. And Suggs is gaining confidence. This team is going to be very dangerous. Coach Mosley and those guys down in Orlando, man, they're doing. And going out and getting KCP, because the rest
You see guys coming off that bench, and you see Black, you see all of the, you see
Anthony
Wagner,
Black,
you
Anthony
see
Black
Suggs,
has got some
you
skills.
see Jet Howard, all those guys.
But I love them bringing in KCP.
And I like the
A
fact
little
with
veteran
Orlando,
savvy, a little Yes. stabilizing force, yeah.
and I like the fact with Orlando, with players in, with players out, you have to really put them away to beat them. We all expect, Milwaukee to blow them out, but, Coach Mo said the effort that they play with, how they play together, you really have to put this team away. So to answer your question, yes, they are the OKC of pass, and if they guys keep getting confident like that, they'll definitely be a good
Cole
team.
Anthony, they got.
And I think they're better than the Knicks.
Now, I'll ask this to Orlando Magic fans.
I'm
Because
listening.
I feel that maybe you're almost in the same place as you were when Paolo went out. Or maybe you're not. However, I'll ask the question anyway. With Paolo and Franz out, are you closing the door on Orlando to make the playoffs? That they may have to get in to the play-in round? There's a saying that we used to have. It's called "Fool me once, shame on you." Fool me once, you can't get fooled again. And the Orlando Magic are not going to do that to me again. I'm not worried about this team. Now, it does hurt that Jamal Mosley is saying that Paolo may return mid-January, especially when you had Paolo Banchero believing that he may be back more towards Christmas. But look at the last two games Orlando played and tell me that they're not fine.
Dude, I mean, Suggs put the team on his back towards the end of that game, and they knew that it was going to go to him. That rock got tossed to him, and he just, didn't toss up the right three, and he knew it, man. Dang it.
Well, I'll say this. I told this to Hacker on Sunday before they played Phoenix, so last week. I said, I'm not worried. They have shown at that time, before Franz had gone out with the oblique injury, they had shown that they had another all-star on the roster, and Franz Wagner, which every contender needs. You need at least two all-star caliber players, high-level all-star caliber players. And I was of the mind that this is going to help the Orlando Magic in terms of their confidence for when their superstar player gets back. Now, Franz Wagner goes out. Hacker came into this studio before fifth quarter, thought that they were absolutely, in his words, going to get boat raced by the Phoenix Suns, albeit they didn't have Kevin Durant that night. Didn't think it would matter. They defeat Phoenix. Casey just brings it up. They went toe-to-toe with the Milwaukee Bucks, which Shaq believed this was going to be a blowout game. And who had the ball in his hands? Jalen Suggs, who in the last 2 games now, and this is without Paolo and this is without Franz, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 4 made threes against Phoenix, 32, 9, and 4 steals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Could we say that the Orlando Magic have 3 number 1 options? And hey, we had Jeff Turner on, and Jeff Turner said when you had Jalen Suggs coming into the league, he thought that maybe he would be the star of the team. Now, of course, you bring in Franz, Wagner, and Paolo Banchero. Sure, you're going to fall down the line. But it's not bad to have a number 3 option that can play now like a number 1 option. Not saying that this team is going to have the same run that they had when Franz had the ball in his hand. But I don't think this team is buying time or treading water. The other players in which I said are gaining confidence. How about Goga Batadze? He's having a career year. He's averaging just under 9 points, 7 rebounds, and a block and a half per game. And that game against Phoenix, about 21 and 16. And over the last 7 games, he's been averaging a double-double. Mo Wagner, can you argue that he's probably the best backup center in the league? Anthony Black, for a guy, and this is coming from me, a guy who thought that during the offseason, maybe you go out and you get a point guard, because I didn't think Jalen Suggs was a lead point guard for a team that has championship aspirations, and I didn't think Anthony Black was ready yet. Well, he is making me eat those words. Jeff Weltman and Anthony Parker said, no. We have our point guard right here. Tristan Da Silva is not going to wow you with crazy numbers, at least right now. It's his rookie year. But fits perfectly with this group. Cole Anthony, his numbers have fluctuated up and down in terms of minutes and level of production. But you put him in the game, he knows what to do. But I do hear you. I hear you through the speakers. I hear you in my headphones. 3-point shooting. It's atrocious. And you're not wrong. Magic are shooting below 31% this season from downtown. KCP, he's doing great things on the defensive end. This is one of the better defensive teams in the league. You also need him to knock down the long ball. Not doing that consistently, as consistent as you would like him to. Gary Harris, not healthy right now. Hasn't been able to knock down the long ball as consistently as you would like for him to. Jett Howard has been playing very, very well, and I do believe that Jeff Weltman and Anthony Parker believe this guy can be a long-range threat. Not seeing it right now. So, do you make a move by the deadline? What's the asking price for a Luke Kennard, who may be on his way out of Memphis? Cam Johnson's available in Brooklyn, so is Dorian Finney-Smith. Do you give Brooklyn a call to try to get some three-point shooting there? But even with that glaring hole this season, here's a team that's covering that sin defensively. And now with a guy who is, when everyone's healthy, your third option, but is playing like he can be a first option. Is this sustainable? We'll see. For the rest of the month, you're not traveling outside of Orlando. You got the Knicks twice, Miami twice, OKC's coming to town, Boston comes to town, and you finish the year against Brooklyn. I believe in this team so much. Yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I believe in this team so much. I think you should beat the Nets. I think you can split with Miami. I believe you can split with the Knicks. OKC, I think you can make it rather interesting. Boston is really where I feel you're going to need Paolo and Franz. So that'll be a team that'll be interesting if this team can get healthy once you see that team down the road where you stand. But if mid-January is the mark in which Paolo Banchero is supposed to get back, well, here's your schedule at the turn of the calendar until January 15th. You open up playing New Year's Day against the Detroit Pistons on the road. Then you'll play January 3rd against the Raptors. You come home to play Utah, hit the road again to play the Knicks, have a 3-game homestand against the Wolves, Bucks, and Sixers. And if Paolo's to come back on the 15th, let's say, well, you're on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks, who you went head-to-head with without your 2 biggest stars. Now, if you are healthy by the time we get to March and Paolo's back, Franz is back, and they're both trying to get the rust off, but you're still in that playoff mix, I'm saying watch out. Because Orlando will hurt somebody's feelings. Now, I'm not saying this team is going to make the NBA Finals. I'm not saying that this team is going to make the Eastern Conference Finals, but I do believe they can make the second round. All things considered, with the injuries, with the bad three-point shooting, I do believe they can make the second round. But come next year, and if this team has a healthy year, team playing defense the way that they are, and they stay connected as we've seen them as Orlando Magic fans, I'm telling everyone, buy stock now, because I think you're only seeing a preview of what's to come. Can they be the new OKC? They surely have the recipe to do so. You have your star player. OKC has Shea. You have Paolo Banchero. You got your second star, Chet Holmgren in OKC. Franz Wagner in Orlando. And you have your third star who could be an all-star. Jalen Williams, Jalen Suggs. This team's not that far off. And if their plan was to build through the draft, get young guys, develop them, get a young, hungry coach who Dante Marchitelli has said it ad nauseum, players do not want to let him down. And you answer the question when it comes to your three-point shooting. Next year, or even before the deadline, I don't think anybody's going to want to see this team in a 7-game series. But those are just my thoughts.